The terminal froze. A slap cracked louder than rolling luggage, echoing through gate C. Marcus Hayes, a young black traveler in his late 20s, staggered back, hand to his cheek. Across from him stood Edward Mallory, a 70-year-old white man, face twisted in fury. "People like you don't belong in first class," Edward barked, his voice sharp, full of venom. Marcus said nothing. He just straightened his collar, steady breathing while dozens of eyes darted away. Not one stranger spoke up. Phones lifted discreetly, capturing the moment. His dignity weighed heavier than the sting, but the silence pressed like a cage. Edward sneered, "Look at you, thinking you're someone. You're nothing." Marcus's jaw clenched. His silence wasn't weakness. It was patience. The crowd shifted uneasily, the air heavy with unspoken complicity. A woman muttered, "Don't make trouble," pulling her child closer. Edward shoved Marcus toward the counter, spitting, "Show your fake ticket." The young man's backpack slid from his shoulder, hitting the floor with a dull thud. He bent to pick it up, his hands shaking, not from fear but from restraint. His eyes lifted, and for a second, pain showed before he buried it. Marcus whispered, almost to himself, "You think this is the first time?" Edward laughed harshly, his words slicing through the terminal. "You people never learn." The TSA officer at the counter eyed Marcus suspiciously, as if Edward's rage confirmed guilt. "Step aside," the officer ordered. Marcus complied, calm but wounded, as if every glance labeled him an imposter. He stood alone in the spotlight of prejudice, waiting. "Check his bag." "Check his ID," Edward roared, finger jabbing like a command. 2 security guards moved in, one grabbing Marcus's arm. Phones tilted higher, the whispers swelling. "What's going on?" "They're detaining him." Marcus's voice finally cut through, "Is this because of his words, or my skin?" The question hung heavy. One guard flinched but still searched his pocket. Edward leaned close, smirked cruel, "Bet you forged everything. Bet you thought you could sneak in." A hush fell as the guard pulled out a black leather badge holder. The snap of the clasp opening sounded like thunder. The letters shone unmistakable, FBI Special Agent. Gasps exploded across the terminal. The guard froze. Edward's grin collapsed. Marcus looked straight at him, steady as steel, "The man you mocked writes your freedom into law." The old man stumbled back, color draining. Security stiffened, eyes darting between Marcus and Edward. A supervisor stormed in, demanding, "What's happening here?" Marcus didn't raise his voice, he didn't need to. He simply held out the badge, calm and unshaken. "I was assaulted," he said. Edward sputtered, he provoked me," but his voice cracked, no conviction left. Witnesses shouted now, courage reborn in the wake of truth. "We saw it." He slapped him for no reason. The supervisor turned coldly toward Edward. "Sir, you're coming with us." Edward's protest shriveled into silence as handcuffs clicked. The same silence he once weaponized now crushed him. Marcus exhaled slowly, not in triumph but in relief. The crowd parted around him, no longer avoiding his gaze. Instead, they looked with shame, some even murmuring apologies they hadn't given when it mattered. Minutes later, Marcus sat quietly, his cheeks still red but his spirit unbroken. He watched the old man led away, head bowed, trembling. A child's voice pierced the stillness, "Mom, he's a hero, isn't he?" Marcus turned, offering the faintest nod. The terminal felt different now, not lighter, but awake. He gathered his things, straightened once more, and walked toward his gate. Not as a victim, but as someone who carried a truth too heavy to hide. Respect cannot be granted by prejudice, it must be defended by justice. Behind him, the whispers turned into conversations, people finally speaking what they had swallowed. His stride was steady, his silence louder than any shout. The slap meant to diminish him became the echo that reminded everyone watching, dignity never kneels.